Welcome to the Women in Vinyl podcast with Jen DiEugenio, founder of Women in Vinyl, and contributor Robin Raymond. This podcast facilitates conversations with those working in the vinyl record industry to educate, demystify, and diversify the vinyl community.
Thanks for joining us on episode 41 of the Women in Vinyl podcast. You just heard Love in Lo-Fi by Chila Hope off her new record, Damn Feelings, out now on Wax Mage Records. Find more at www.chilahope.com. We just got back from our industry conference in Minneapolis, Making Vinyl, a time for us industry folks to discuss, innovate, commiserate, and celebrate these slabs of wax we all love. We wanted to give you, our listeners, a chance to hear it from the source, and we opened our mic to attendees. You asked the questions, we've got the answers. As a reminder, in honor of Pride Month and wanting to be allies, we are donating a part of all sales in June to GLSEN, a great organization that works to ensure that LGBTQ students are able to learn and grow in a school environment free from bullying and harassment. We are transforming our nation's K-12 schools into safe and affirming environments. Visit www.womeninvinyl.com/store. Now enjoy the episode.
My name is Sarai Stevens, and I'm a pre-production coordinator at Precision Record Pressing. Will lead times ever get back to 4 to 6 weeks? I've definitely pushed jobs and had 6-week lead times. We also are advertising 10-week lead times, so we're doing pretty well overall, I would say. We're not talking about wide spines, we're talking about your standard simple order. Definitely 6 weeks we can do. What is the best and worst thing about your job? Why? The best parts of my job are definitely interacting with clients who definitely need help. I'm with the indie team, so people may not be as knowledgeable about print specs, or maybe they want to see what something will look like, a sticker with foil. I love helping clients get photos of finished goods, and clients overall being generally appreciative of maybe having those extra steps taken to ensure something turned out a certain way. The worst part about my job is when stuff goes wrong. Claims can be a nightmare. Sometimes things just are out of control, and a center label from another job gets pressed else onto another different job. Dealing with claims sucks, so that's what I hate about my job. One thing I wish people knew more about what I do with pre-production, or maybe pre-press, that it's a very important part of vinyl manufacturing and production. It is helping pave a smooth pathway so that things are sorted out prior to production. And I wish people appreciated us more. That's all.
My name is Sam Boatwright, and I am an account manager on the indie team at Precision Record Pressing. If I had to choose between colored wax or black wax, I would say I am a purist, a traditionalist, black all the way. But I'm not a jerk who thinks that colored wax is not, I don't know, to each their own, you know? And the best thing about my job is being able to help artists and labels realize from start to finish their creative vision. I love that I have a part in that. And the worst thing is, the worst thing about my job, probably having to tell labels we can't get something done in time because of things that are out of our control, like supply chain issues. But that's changing. So those are my answers. Thank you.
My name is Sayaka Aoki. I am the graphics manager at Precision Record Pressing. I guess I'll start with the sustainable question. What steps are being taken to make vinyl more sustainable? There's this kind of like love-hate relationship that I have with just manufacturing in general. And I feel like that question is really important, and how we approach it is also really important. My hope is that, you know, the actual compounds and packaging products are in themselves manufactured in a sustainable way, but also offsetting some of the carbon footprint by, joining certain tree planting operations and things like that are, super awesome. And I believe Precision is actually starting to take part in that sort of thing. So really, really proud of that side of the business. And the one thing that I wish more people knew about what I do, there's a certain trickle-down effect that comes from, all the way from the clients and what their vision is for a particular, project. And then, it'll bypass so many hands until it gets to me. And all of a sudden, there's an elaborate foil stamp on the front cover. And, who knows how that got there, but it's nowhere listed on the BOM or the PO or anything, and it just causes a total nightmare to deal with. So really hoping that, going forward, when there's a more complex project or when, the client has a really special item, really get everyone intimately knowing about what the expectation is, so that those items can be communicated to my team and myself. And that's it.
Yeah, my name is Gudmundur. I'm the CEO of a pressing plant in Copenhagen called RPM Records. And I'm here to answer some questions. Colored vinyl, black or colored. Personally, I would say black, but it kind of depends. If you just want to do it for the look, then of course the colored one is prettier, but the black one is, that it's been better quality controlled, because let's say if you're making a white, if it's a white vinyl, it's almost impossible to see the reflection of a scratch or something like that. And you can also just see the more wear and tear that it's gotten on the black vinyl. This, of course, can also be true if you get a really dark green vinyl or something like that. But the sound quality these days is more or less the same as black vinyl. It used to be different because the melting temperature and everything. But nowadays it's, at least for speaking in my own opinion or my experience, it's the same. You just have to figure out what color which one does. The lead time back to 4 to 6 weeks. Actually, my pressing plant has roughly 3 months, 2 to 3. So yeah, I would say that. Exactly. But
Where are you located?
we're in Copenhagen, Denmark. Awesome. Yeah, so we're taking care of the north. What do you mean by oversaturated? If it's being too much pressure? I don't know. I mean, they told us this morning that they're going from 134 worldwide to 175 or something like that. That's quite a big jump. So if that's going to be the same also next spring, that's probably probably going to get more and more crazy. But let's just hope the demand also follows. But I don't know. Wasn't that also the problem in the 80s that there were too many pressing plants compared to the chains? So yeah, I don't know. Wish I could answer that.
Okay, my name is Piper Payne. I am the owner of Physical Music Products Vinyl Record Pressing in Tennessee. I'm going to choose 2 or 3 of the questions below. Oh, also I'm a mastering engineer. Okay, will the lead times ever get back to 4 to 6 weeks? I don't know about the industry as a whole, but we are one of the fastest turn time plants in the country, for sure. Our standard stated turn time is 5 to 7 weeks, and we're consistently turning stuff around in the 3 to 5 week zone. So we're pretty quick. Part of the way we're able to do that is, we work directly with our customers, and we work directly with our vendors. So we aren't necessarily reliant on a broker network, although we like brokers, but it's all first come, first serve, and nobody gets any special pricing or treatment. So that's kind of helped everything stay very even and fair. And it also really helps us because we handle so much of the process and we can be in control of all of that. And that's how we're able to have such fast turn times. Okay, what's one thing that I wish more people knew about what I do? I am an owner-operator style person, and so I'm heavily involved in the production. Every single thing that comes through and goes out is unfortunately or fortunately bottlenecked by me, and my very tight team of folks. One thing that I think is kind of awesome is that we are turning around the same number of records every month that other plants do with 10 times the staff. And I think that that's kind of dope because our team is amazing and very dialed in and very focused on the fact that our reputation is that we make good quality records and do it quickly. And the only way we can keep doing that is by having that dedicated staff. So I wish more people knew that our staff is the best in the business and that we all care very deeply about what we do, but also that we are very focused on what we're up to. And also, as far as I know, I'm not sure, do you guys know if there's another record plant actually owned by a mastering engineer? A lot of plants used to have mastering in-house. They would have a mastering engineer that worked there or was cutting out of the facility. But yeah, that's kind of a cool little tidbit about us. One thing that I wish more people knew about what we do or what I do, in addition to the like really cool thing that we're able to do a lot more with a lot less staff, but more focused staff, is that we also do a ton of education. And so I have recently revived this brand that I started in the pandemic, which was called No Stupid Audio Questions. And we've revived it into No Stupid Vinyl Questions. So it's basically turning into this anonymous question form on a website where someone can send in a question just categorized with a timestamp, and we know nothing about who it is or whatever, so that if it's something that's just like people think it's an actual stupid question. The thing is, everyone sends in like multiples of the same question from different people. So everyone still has that question, whether it's stupid or not. And so then we take a minute and address it in video and talk about the answer to the question and maybe why it came up this way, and then try and dispel some myths about vinyl, just anything vinyl related. So from hi-fi collectors not really knowing how to set up their turntable all the way to an artist trying to make a record for the first time. And then, we're creating a lot of video content for the support of the knowledge in the industry.
Okay, so my name is Lori Allen Moore, and I am the Director of HR at Memphis Record Pressing. My first question is going to be an easy question, and that is colored wax or black wax. And I would say black wax all day long. Absolutely. Colored wax is beautiful, but black wax sounds the best. The second question would be, what is one thing you wish more people knew about you, about what you do? HR is sometimes a thankless job, so I would want people to know that it's not all bad. It's not all terminating people, but it's getting people excited about what it is that you are doing, what your company is doing, and what you have to offer. And actually, the vinyl world is a cool thing to be involved in, and people seem to like it a lot. So that's what I wish people knew more about my job. So that's it.
My name is Steve Theriot. I'm the head of manufacturing for Materia Music, a video game soundtrack record label based in Seattle, Washington. Some of the questions I'm going to answer is colored wax or black wax, and why. I think there's a good sustainability for both. Black, you're going to get that really rich tone. You're going to hear everything. We press a lot of black vinyl for our piano collections. People want to hear, a piano on the black. They want to hear the full range of the piano. Colored wax, you could still get pretty decent sounds on the colored wax. Personally, I don't hear too much of a difference, which I'll probably get shot for saying that. But colored wax, black wax, I think it's really dependent upon your personal preference. Black wax in certain situations do sound better. So no real opinion on that, but I like the way colored vinyl looks, especially when you get different types of mixes and marbling and splatter, and you create something very unique with the colored wax. And I think as a product, it is good to own and good to see. Next question is, will lead times ever get back to 4 to 6 weeks? I think it will. I mean, we're slowly starting to see that. You've got 6 months to 9 months for a record. It's been my experience the past year and a half. It's just been forever to get certain titles. Now the industry, with the many different plants, they are starting to get back to, a 12-week lead time, some are 17 weeks. So I honestly think that, especially with more plants being created and the popularity of vinyl increasing, you're going to see, shorter times, and who knows if we start getting many more plants and capacity is available, you could even see that shorter. But I definitely think it will. Do you think the market is oversaturated? I don't think so. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there who still don't know that vinyl is coming back, and us in the industry, we know how popular it is and how much it means to people, and just being, from a collector's standpoint, how exciting it is to have something physical. And I just don't think the demand for that's going to go away. I don't think it's oversaturated at all. And I mean, I'd hope to see levels of vinyl be like late 90s with CDs. I mean, I wasn't alive in the 70s to witness the vinyl boom, but it'd be really cool to see. I don't want to name drop big box stores, so we'll insert big box store here. Seeing a very large selection of vinyl records, being able to have it more of an experience like it used to be, especially with all of the opportunities for digital streaming, being able to go out and find a unique new record. I think that'd be very exciting to see. So no, I don't think the market is oversaturated by any means. What is the best and worst thing about your job, and why? Like I said, I'm the head of manufacturing for Materia Music. I get to hear a lot of really cool albums prior to its release. I check audio sides prior to sending them to the manufacturing plant, and so it's really fulfilling to be able to hear some really cool remixes, of Mega Man. One of our artists, Robo Rob, he does a Mega Remix Man, and so it's really fun to be able to listen to these really cool EDM remixes of songs that I played hours on. We do a lot of Zelda titles too, and so it's really fun to be able to hear EDM remixes, lo-fi remixes of Zelda. So, project managing, sending these particular albums out. Some of the worst things about the job is just, the lead time. I think I answered a question about turn times. And so, when you're waiting 6 to 9 months to 12 months for a record, it can get frustrating, especially when you have pre-orders up and you've got passionate fans about a particular album and they just want it, and so you're just like, look, it's coming. And I think that a lot of people understand that, but at the same time, when I'm a collector myself, so it's like, yeah, I understand that, but why is it taking so long? And obviously having some insider information about the process, I'm able to just relax and just be like, yeah, I totally get it. So best and worst things, get to hear really cool albums, get to meet really cool people who are very passionate about vinyl as well. Let's see, what is one thing you wish more people knew about what you do? I don't know. I don't think I want anybody to know what I do. I just like to make stuff. I like to push projects forward, and I just like to project manage what we do, and I really enjoy it. So, it takes time to get records made. The process of, okay, you've got an artist, you have the artist who has to make the audio. So like that's part of it. Then you have to have the artist who's creating the album artwork, and then you have to make sure that you have all the pieces together before you submit it to get it pressed and to get it printed. So there's a lot of work that goes into that, managing, making sure that all the pieces are correct. I kind of do a quick copy check on wording and making sure the copyright is 2023, or if that's the year. I think we had a record this year I was looking at, and it was copyright 2022 because we had done the artwork in 2022, and so I made sure that we proofed it before it went in, so that by the time we actually get proofs, we've done our best. We put our best foot forward to make sure that we can get those printings and pressings as good as possible, so there's not a lot of extra time, because sometimes when you've got to send it back, like, hey, I need to make a revision, it stops the process, it kills your momentum. And not that that's a big deal, that's part of the job, but if being in the industry for 20 years and being able to see those types of things and making sure that you can anticipate what you need to look for prior to sending it, makes the job a lot easier. So, that's part of it. Maybe you wanted to know that. Maybe you didn't. So now you know. Let's see. Vinyl career lifers, how has your career waxed and waned over the years with the ups and downs of vinyl's popularity? So for me, I started in the industry with CDs, and so I've kind of seen the popularity of CDs go down and the popularity of vinyl come up. So it's quite interesting. I know people are like, oh, CDs or vinyl. It's just like, look, however you get your medium, whatever you like, buy the product. If you like CDs, buy CDs. If you like vinyl, buy the vinyl. My vinyl collection has increased significantly since I've started this job. So I've got all my favorite records on vinyl. I continually are buying new vinyl. It's become, it's really become a passion of mine to collect vinyl and see bands that I like put out my favorite records on vinyl. So yeah, the ups and downs of vinyl used to be like, oh, vinyl. I remember a lot of people threw away their vinyl. They're like, okay, and then they bought it all on CD, and then they threw away all their CDs, and then they have, the digital, and now it's streaming, and now it's coming back to vinyl. And so the biggest regret I've heard from a lot of people is like, I wish I would have never thrown away my vinyl. And so, it's a testament to this media format of how popular it really is. And so I just think it's going to continue to grow, and I think it's going to be the standard, and I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think it's just, vinyl is going to, we got to get used to vinyl just being there. Let's see, 10. I want to upgrade my system or start collecting. What are your favorite products and gear? If you're just starting out, I think that Audio-Technica has a really good mid-range, entry-level product. I really enjoy it. Mine has Bluetooth. It's really cool. Some of the other ones, like I remember, Technics. I had a friend who was a DJ and he used Technics, and I just said that's way too much for me. I could never get into it. But just as a casual vinyl listener, you can get it on Amazon relatively cheap, and it's a good entry level system. And I mean, you can get as crazy as you want with it. But if you're looking to start collecting, go to your local record store, find used records, see which ones you want, and follow the labels that you like and the artists that you like, and start collecting. So, and then Materia.store, if you want to buy some very cool vinyl video game records, please visit it. We've got thousands of options online, from random games, popular games, and thanks Women in Vinyl. So, yeah.
Want to get together and mingle with industry professionals? Keep your finger on the pulse of all that's going on in the vinyl industry? Make sure you keep an eye out for the Making Vinyl annual conference and join us in talking about all things vinyl. Women in Vinyl wants to extend a special thanks to Making Vinyl for their continued support, as well as Vinyl Alliance, VRMA, Record Store Day, and all other attendees that stopped by our table. Be sure to check out makingvinyl.com for past events and those to come. And now, back to the episode.
My name is Eric Astor. I'm the co-owner now of Furnace Record Pressing, founder, CEO. All right, let's see. Will lead times ever get back to 4 to 6 weeks? Yes, they are back to 4 to 6 weeks. Colored wax or black wax, and why? Well, I have two minds of this. Black wax to listen to. Color vinyl because it's pretty. White vinyl because you can't QC it, so you just put it in a sleeve and make sure it's flat. Do you think the market is oversaturated? I think there's way too much capacity for demand, if that's the answer. Is that the question? Oh, yeah. Can I answer more than 2 or 3? Yeah. Will there ever be an alternative to PVC? If so, which? So I think that I've spent a lot of time with the people at Plastichem about their bio-vinyl. It's a very cool idea because it's kind of like putting cooking oil in your car, like as a biodiesel. Mm-hmm. So you're replacing all the first generation oil, and you're using recycled material in a product that is as durable as a petroleum-based piece, right? So, the other stuff that's out there that's like food-based breaks down. You don't want your records to break down. So, when you're looking at sustainability, I think it's really important to do something from an alternative to oil, like petroleum perspective. And, we're talking about not single-use plastic straws and stuff like that. This is like durable materials that last a long time. So I think we're almost here. And I think that is like the first big step into true sustainability. That's what I say. What are innovations you're excited about? Oh, I wish there was a new cutting lathe that you could buy, and I wish that plating was easier. So if that happens, that'd be good innovation. What is the best and worst thing about my job? Admin is the worst. Best thing is just seeing a job well done by good people that care, and being able to see that you're making a difference in their lives and also the people that play your awesome records. How has your career waxed and waned over the years, ups and downs of the vinyl popularity? I mean, I've only been on the ups, so I can't really say anything about the downs, other than trying to start a pressing plant, which has almost killed me. And would I do it again? No. What are your favorite products and gear? I think you need a record cleaner, like a good one. I think you need like a good turntable. Spend $500. Would you say that? $500? And then get yourself like a killer pair of like bookshelf speakers if that's your budget. That's all you need. But don't skimp on the cleaning part.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Pryor. I'm Vice President of Marketing for Amped Distribution. And do I think that the market is oversaturated? No, I definitely don't think the market is oversaturated. I could go on for hours about this, but I won't. But a real indication of where retail is at right now, it's strong, it's healthy, it's doing really well. And yes, there's headwinds. There's always going to be headwinds. But like even just at Music Biz recently, every single meeting I had was with a retailer, with the exception of like 2 or 3. There was so much retail there. I was so shocked because it hasn't been like that in at least a decade. So that's a really good testament to where retail is at right now. But also, there's been this, everybody's been holding back on what kind of vinyl they should be pressing because of all of, everything was so stopped up in the supply chain. And now that that's starting to open up, there's all this back catalog that's been needing to come out for so long. And then on top of all that, all these big venture capital companies have been out there just gobbling up all these catalogs. Well, guess what? Fast forward a few years, they're going to be like, oh crap, it's not making us the money we thought because there's nobody here to like actually mine the catalogs. And so they're going to be needing people that are actual music people, not bean counters, to come in and actually mine those catalogs. Meanwhile, there's going to be pent up demand for all that stuff that's just been laying dormant. I mean, let's face it, right now, even the majors have a lot of stuff that's just sitting there laying dormant that hasn't been touched in a long time. So I think that we are not oversaturated. I think the market can bear it. Now, with the advent of this little thing called the interweb, I'm just kidding. But with the internet, people can find stuff all over the world. And I know that even like Broadtime, they're getting ready to launch an indie marketplace for indie exclusives so that like somebody that was shopping in LA can find something, maybe Amoeba's out of it or Fingerprints is out of it in Long Beach, but they have it available at DBS Sounds in Atlanta. And so now they'll be able to find this in the marketplace that way. So I think there is so much room for potential there. And no, I don't think it's oversaturated.
Hey, this is Lacey Lindstead with Poorhouse Pressing, Poorhouse Music Hall, and Poorhouse Record Shop in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to answer a question about wax. Do I prefer colored wax or black wax? And I'm going to go with black because it is the simplest thing to do. And I think if we could just make everybody's lives a little bit easier on a daily basis, the world could be a little bit happier.
My name is Levi Seitz. I am a mastering engineer at Black Belt Mastering in Seattle, Washington. Okay, colored wax or black wax, and why? I prefer black because under a lathe microscope, black shows up with the most contrast. Like yellow vinyl or gold vinyl, it's very hard to see groove structure under a microscope. So for that mechanical reason, I prefer black, but darn it if colored vinyl isn't beautiful and looks fantastic while spinning around on a record player. So for collecting color, for checking out test pressings, and for the audio geek in me, it's got to be black. What is the best and worst thing about your job and why? That is the same answer for best and worst. Is listening to music all day is amazing and exhausting. But seriously, I get to hear some really great music before it's released. And the fun thing about that is then hearing it once it's released and hearing other people's reactions to it and how much they enjoy it on a personal level. And it's something that I've already been able to internalize and become familiar with. So I love hearing new music. What is one thing you wish more people knew about what you do? lacquer masters, the lacquer discs, are so incredibly fragile. It's often a question when I'm cutting lacquers for a local client. You know, they'd love to have me cut the lacquers and bring them home and listen to them. And what most people don't know is that the simple act of putting a stylus or listening to a lacquer can destroy the groove structure. So it's wild, but once a lacquer is cut, it's not played or listened to until after it becomes a test pressing. So it goes through the plating stages, and then the first time you can really hear the result of your cut is when it's a test pressing. Other than a few small test cuts, or if someone orders an acetate or a dub, you can hear what the music sounds like translated to vinyl. But it's wild. Yeah, you spend all that time setting up and making a cut in real time, and then the first time you really hear the result is the test pressing.
My name is Chris Mara. I am owner of Welcome to 1979 Studio in Nashville. And I'll answer a question number one, which is colored wax or black wax, and why? I go for black because studies have shown it sounds better. And people ask me what other color sounds the best, and you can only have one that sounds the best. So I go black. And from a scientific standpoint, it's easier to look at a test pressing that's black under a microscope and identify an issue. Clear is the hardest because you see both grooves, and I get a little, loosey-goosey. Yeah, my stomach turns. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And where was the other question I had? Number 7, what is one thing you wish more people knew about what you do? So my company does the first 2 steps of making a vinyl record. So we're actually involved in all 3 steps because we're involved with test pressings. And I think I wish people could see more of the processes. When I do talk to artists that are upset about a flaw in their record, it's typically a pop or a tick. And I've come to the conclusion, I think their mental picture of that is a computer screen with a waveform with a big spike in it. That's a pop or a tick that nobody saw or heard. And I like to, when I have an opportunity, I like to talk to them about it being microscopic. Like, do you see it on your record? Well, no, I don't. Well, neither could we. And it's microscopic. And the parts we make, there's no technology to listen to what we make. It doesn't exist. So we have to look, and then you have to listen. So, and it's not a gross negligence. No one, can I swear? No one fucked up. It was all good intentions and a microscopic flaw, or even submicroscopic. I've literally looked at a part under a microscope. There's a metal part called a mother that you can listen to. I've looked at that with a microscope, could not see a flaw, and could hear it. It's bonkers. So it's just nice to let people know that care is being taken, even though there might be something that doesn't sound like you want it to sound.
Hi, this is Billy Field speaking. I'm a vice president at the Warner Music Group, and I'm also a vinyl strategist. I don't want to talk about any of the questions that you've given me to answer, but I do want to talk about vinyl and vinyls. I don't care what anyone calls it, as long as they're talking about records. They can call it whatever they want. I prefer to only speak about it as vinylicious. So whenever I talk about it to my friends and family, I talk about it like that. Do you like vinyl or vinyls? No. I like vinylicious. I don't care if it's black vinyl. I don't care if it's splatter, split, color, grooved, ungrooved. I don't care. I have 12-inch slab of whatever it is. It's vinylicious. That's all that matters. Everything else is secondary. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the Women in Vinyl podcast. You can join our ever-growing list of sponsors. Other record labels: Selector, Couple Design, Eargasm, Groove Washer, Glowtronics, New Gen Audio, and Vinyl Revolution Record Show. And thanks for sponsoring the show. Hey, as always, you can join our conversation on Instagram or send us a note at media@womeninvinyl.com. Clock us, send us info. If you have a question, we got the answer, or we'll find it. We won't lie to you. And check out womeninvinyl.com for past episodes, the store, the job board, and the library of resources. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give us a review on your favorite podcast delivery method. You can also contribute to furthering our mission at patreon.com/womeninvinyl. Hey, guess what? This episode, 45 minutes. You know there was more. You want more? You get more. Go to patreon.com and you can get more. And you'll find all the B-sides, the deep cuts, and the amazing extras, including longer episodes, and contribute to the creation of scholarships and educational opportunities to further the demystification, the infiltration of more women and non-binary identifying humans into the vinyl making space, decreasing those turnaround times every week. Yeah, we love your records. We want you to love them too. womeninvinyl.com.
This episode has been brought to you by Women in Vinyl and Red Spade Records. Thank you for listening. Please remember to subscribe, and you can always contact us directly by visiting www.womeninvinyl.com.